Yo, pronounce it like the letter, don't say it at all. It's your boy S, and this is Esz Reacts. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell for more content. Coming up next, Drake out here getting his hands caught in the cookie jar, huh? We're going to talk about it. Coming up next. On my brain to go against the grain. I think I can move while I'm lifting. Drip with force, the energy towards positive vibes is what I need.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
We back. This video is provided by Fantastic Hip Hop, courtesy of Fantastic Hip Hop. So let's get to it.
Now, currently with Drake, when he is not busy embarrassing himself with the ridiculous lawsuit that he keeps escalating, the other major thing him and OVO are trying to do is desperately convince people that his new song Nokia is the hit track that music has needed right now. And while Drake and everyone around him are doing everything they can,
I'm gonna be honest. That new Drake album is not that good. It's not that good. I ain't saying it's corny. I ain't saying it's whack. But it's like regurgitated. It's like regurgitated stuff we already heard from him. It's nothing creatively different. I need to put that out there. That's just what it sounds like to me. I ain't hating. I'm just saying.
try and trick people into believing that this song is the real organic smash record at the moment compared to all of Kendrick Lamar's tracks that are dominating the top charts, which of course with those songs they are trying to claim that they have all been boosted up to only create the mere illusion that they are as big as they are. Well, after all of the confusion that Drake has been trying to spread, all to make his own song look better and of course make Kendrick's look worse. When it comes to both Kendrick Lamar's tracks being more deserving chart toppers than anything else we have seen in so long, and at the same time, even the moderate success we are seeing.
Let me tell you something, right? All artists manipulate numbers in some shape or form. All the labels were doing it. Labels been doing it for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Labels have been doing it for a minute. If people are just getting up to what they've been doing for years, y'all behind the 8 ball. Seriously. Numbers have always been manipulated. Now, me personally, like I've said before in a video, I've never been a numbers person. I've always been a content person. I've always looked at the content first before the numbers. But numbers are important. Let me just put that out there.
With Nokia having something very clearly wrong with it going on behind the scenes. Right now, we just got all the confirmation we needed to say with certainty that despite Drake's claims about Kendrick Lamar being put in place by the industry to stop him, and that the numbers Kendrick Lamar is pulling in are just a lie, in actuality, we now know that Drake has been the one who is faking his influence and lying to everybody at the same time. And now before we go any further into this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, it helps me out a ton. And so now with that said, when it comes to Drake, as we now have seen Drake do whatever he can to try and convince his fan base that he is the biggest victim the music industry has ever seen, and really make it this entire stunt.
And that's really what it's about, him playing victim. That's really what it is. That is really what it is, folks, him playing victim. He wants to create this narrative that everybody pounced and jumped on him. That's just what it is. He want to act like he was in a fight with a group of folks. He want to act like it was 10, 15, 20 people jumped him when really it was only one person he was facing off with. Basically, that's what it is.
Trying to pull off even worse. The only thing he even remotely cares about is trying to defeat Kendrick Lamar and discredit his success however he possibly can. Really, when it comes to Drake being able to use the fans who are just as desperate for a win as he has become, the only thing he has left to do, other than bother everybody with annoying paperwork, is push the one record from SSS for You that has kind of stuck with people in, of course, the song Nokia. And now when it comes to the fact that despite Nokia being the most successful move Drake has made since the entire beef by far, yet the track cannot break past the strongholds of Kendrick Lamar's songs dominating everything, including Not Like Us, Luther, Squabble Up, and a few amount of other tracks depending.
It's just crazy Kendrick Lamar literally has at least 4 songs charting on the list right now. Charting right now. Right now. He literally got like 4 tracks on there. That is wild. That is wild. And his new song, Drake's new song, can't even get past that. That is wild. That is wild.
On which chart we are exactly talking about? Well, Drake would want you to believe that Kendrick's success is all just another intentional effort to shut him out of the industry. And of course, we keep hearing that same narrative over and over again from his desperate fans, as in order to cope with the fact that a rapper is breaking records like we have never seen, they just keep resorting to the argument that Kendrick is getting all of these new listeners from fake plays and playlists because it's just so hard for them to accept reality. Well, now, despite all of the tedious conversation and coping that we have seen, no longer.
It wouldn't even matter if he was getting new listeners. It wouldn't even matter. It wouldn't even matter. Drake time is up. That's basically what it is. His time is up. And the sooner he gets to realize that, the better it will be for him.
All of us just know that Kendrick's success is about as real as it can possibly get. But now for Drake and all of the people who don't want to accept that they have lost in every single sense of the word, and in reality now, Kendrick is the one who numbers-wise Drake will never even creep up to. Altogether, we now know more than ever that Drake has been lying to every single one of us and making up all of the claims he has about Kendrick Lamar and his fake numbers, all because he is upset that Lamar is just doing more on Rap's throne than he has ever been able to. And this is because after all of the baseless claims about whose numbers are real and whose numbers are not, recently, none other than Spotify just checked their entire platform for music that was faking streams and had any sort of manipulation going on behind the scenes, and for anything that they detected was up, those numbers were wiped away from those records entirely. And now with Spotify checking this out, this is where things start to get bad for Drake, because despite people around him like current go-to producers,
Yo. Let us continue.
and Gordo believing that Drake could never fail this much and Kendrick couldn't succeed the way he had, and they have tried to spread the word about this to everyone by putting up cryptic messages about how the truth will come to light. Well, now with Spotify cleaning up their entire streaming records, I guess to Gordo's point, the truth has come to light, but in a way where Drake and everybody around him are not gonna like what they are gonna see, because more than ever, in a music industry that is seemingly trying to get rid of all of the manipulation going on behind the scenes, Spotify adjusted a ton of song streaming numbers, and because of this, a lot of songs lost streams because they were caught having artificially boosted numbers, which is of course what Drake has been trying to prove with Not Like Us. And now while certain artists, and even rappers specifically like Cardi B, lost hundreds of millions of streams, which just shows how fake some things in this industry we see are, with everything that Drake and his team have been trying to claim about how fake all of the numbers around Kendrick Lamar are, not a single thing about Kendrick Lamar's numbers were altered one bit by any of this, which once and for all is just putting Drake's claims about.
That's what most of us have been saying for some time. None of his numbers have been altered at all. At all. No numbers have been altered. But as you can see, like I explained before, that this has been an ongoing thing before Drake and Kendrick Lamar. It's beef. It's always been these situations that artists can manipulate their numbers, especially the big time artists.
The entire success of Not Like Us and Kendrick Lamar's ascension in the music industry being faked, and this pre-planned effort to end his career in a more ridiculous context than it ever has looked. Because with all of the Kendrick Lamar songs not being altered at all after this entire check that Spotify had, Drake's claims about the industry pushing Not Like Us and GNX and boosting those numbers within the worst ways possible overall have just never sounded more baseless altogether. And with Kendrick's numbers being undeniable when Drake fans and OVO have been making plans and efforts to make his music look like it's performing better than it really is, it's really just the funniest thing. And ultimately, what this entire moment is going to have to show every single person around Drake is that despite the ridiculous claims they are pushing and trying to build up about this major plot to end Drake's career, which is being pushed more and more each day by having Kendrick Lamar's streaming numbers go up, All of this has been earned and is not faked, and they just can't keep denying this anymore no matter how hard they try. And now, unfortunately for everybody around Drake, Kendrick Lamar's numbers were not just proven to be more than real. But when it comes to the last thing that Drake has had going for with him when it comes to his actual own music, which is the song Nokia, while everyone around Team Drake and OVO has been claiming that this song's success is so organic and that nothing about it is fake, which of course they are trying to position like that as the opposite of what's happening with Kendrick Lamar and records like Not Like Us and Luther, this is just not the case. And now I'm not saying that the entire reason this song is doing anything right now is completely fake, because we're not going to do what Drake and OVO are constantly doing to Kendrick. But what has become clear is that Drake is not even hiding how he had to put more work and seemingly fake more than he ever has to get this song that's already charting downwards to do this well. As first off, when it comes to the claims about the record being on fake playlists that are boosting streaming numbers, the song is on a good amount of those. And again, as this is something that Drake fans have loved to pull out on Kendrick Lamar and his success.
Man, boy, you is getting caught in that cookie jar, man. You is getting caught in that cookie jar, bruh. You definitely is, man. Look at the kennel painting black.
This just shows that Drake is really not that different from the person they think Kendrick is. And now also beyond this, and this is where this situation gets much more complicated, there are also claims that Drake put out an entire campaign where he recruited major influencers and others to make dance trends to this songs all over platforms, and just made people play it in their content to establish this record as a bigger song and moment than anything else Drake has had in quite some time. While some of this seems to be true, I could not find anything
You see what I'm saying? You see how everything is being put together? The puzzles are being put together. Let me explain why I'm reacting like this right now to this part of the video. All right. So Drake, as we know, I reported this on my other channel, Bars Wrestling Media. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to that channel. We are at 90 subscribers. We need to hit 1,000. Anyway, so as I reported on my other channel, Drake was at Elimination Chamber. Drake will be at WrestleMania. As I also said too in another video, Drake was caught on camera by other influencers. So you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So everything that's being said in this video is not too far off. It's not too far off. You know what I'm saying? Getting his likeness on other platforms, that is the mission to keep him relevant.
Beyond just users talking about it. But with that said, while there is no direct information about how Nokia has been able to become the first kinda successful thing Drake has done, what is clear is that when you look at specific personalities, from Cenat to the Paul brothers to a lot of other big names within those spaces.
What I tell you? What did I just say? What did I just say? Logan Paul right there. Drake smiling. You want to know why Drake's smiling? You want to know what Logan Paul is doing? He's writing the OVO sign on the Elimination Chamber window. We will definitely be talking more about that on Bars Wrestling Media, which you go subscribe to that channel and hit that notification bell, and you'll see that video that I described on what Logan Paul was doing.
There has been a recent sentiment change around Drake and his music, and looking at Cenat specifically because he really reveals the most about what's going on here. I mean, from seeing his reaction when Not Like Us dropped, and even from Drake including him in his suit, to now seeing how much he has been dissing Kendrick Lamar and just overhyping Drake's new album as a whole, and specifically Nokia. Overall with Kai, something has clearly changed behind the scenes with him and Drake, and now between this pattern we see right here, and also the fact that we know Drake has a history of of doing some things behind the scenes, as we know he was using fake numbers to try and change the narrative during his beef with Kendrick, as beyond Kendrick's own bars telling us this. When the diss tracks were coming out, we saw through polls before actual people had time to voice how they felt about what songs were better, that Drake was able to fake things and make diss tracks that nobody actually thought were better than Kendrick's, seemed to have better reception in an effort to try and change the perception of the beef before it was too late.
And not for nothing, he did sneak diss a few times Kendrick on that album. He did sneak diss against Kendrick on that album, just to let y'all know. If y'all didn't catch it, he did. I forgot the name of the song, but he did do that.
Of course, that didn't work. And I mean, what's clear with all of this is that Drake has definitely played the system within a way like he would never want to admit, and making it even worse for him. He's also doing the exact same things that he's claiming that Kendrick is using to get success in the first place. And so overall with this, when we look at this moment on the charts where Kendrick Lamar is just breaking record after record, and Drake has one song that, while it is his best in a while in terms of its performance, is doing nothing to rival Kendrick whatsoever. From Kendrick Lamar's numbers clearly being real, which we now can't just tell from how hip-hop and music culture has changed alongside the success of these songs, but now we have an actual way to prove it, as these numbers were not changed whatsoever. From Drake clearly doing stuff behind the scenes to push Nokia more than he has ever tried to push a record in his career. Overall, what is clear is that in this rap game where the real music is lasting and the gimmicks are fading away more and more, Drake is the one who is trying to grasp onto his past success with ridiculous methods that are just spelling out that he has never been more desperate and that things behind the scenes are not like we see them. And really, with all of this,
he's going to continue to be that way. He's going to continue to be that way. There's no other way around it for him. He's going to continue to be that way. He's going to continue to denounce everything that's going on and keep the attention on himself. Like I said before, if he had just let this thing go a long time ago, we probably wouldn't even gotten to this point.
Drake really just has to admit that he is no longer number one, because he is not just trying to discredit Kendrick Lamar, but he is then using the same methods he is saying are helping Kendrick, but still losing with those. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, and when it comes to the fact of why Kendrick Lamar is winning the way he is, stuff like this is the exact reason why hip-hop has moved on from Drake and why people don't want this anymore, because over everything else, we are now in a time where the record itself and its cultural impact speaks more than anything else can. And again, while Drake is trying to discredit Kendrick and say that everything he is doing is fake, but when you see how Kendrick Lamar, this beef and its outcome has become so relevant that it's been mentioned in places so much further than just hip-hop, as whether that's from Will Ferrell during Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary special or Conan during the Oscars, which of course Drake and his fans were not happy about the joke he made there. Overall, what is clear...
Yo, y'all definitely gotta check out that video. I did react to that and I did speak about it. Go check that out. That was wild. That was wild.
Is that the moment of Not Like Us and Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show has been so successful that it has transcended hip-hop and regular music spaces as a whole. And with all of this real and earned success, while at the same time everything around Drake has not just looked worse, but even his moderate successes are clearly a little faked, Drake really just needs to come up with a better plan, because at this point, there is nobody he is fooling by lying to us like this. And so now with all this said, let me know. What do you think of what's happened with Drake here, how his big claim against Kendrick Lamar and his takeover of rap has been proven to be a lie, and how do you think that Drake and everybody around him is going to try to cover up this up? Well, I can't wait to hear what you have to say, and if you made it to this point in the video, be sure to leave a like and...
Well, first and foremost, right, he's not going to be able to cover it up. He's not going to be able to cover it up. We already are hip to what is going on. We already are hip. We've been hip to it for months now. We already know. So he's not going to be able to cover it up. I think at this point, there's no turning back for him. Because the times that he should have turned back, he didn't want to. He didn't want to. So there really isn't no turning back from him. It is what it is. Just to keep it funky, it's a done deal. It's a done deal. You know, this is going to be the downward part of Drake's career. Like, he's still going to be charting, but it's not going to be like the way it used to be. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. It's not going to have that same appeal. It's not going to have that same feel. It is what it is, you know? And that's his fault. That's really his fault. You know what I'm saying? That is 100% his fault, you know? Anyway, that's enough of my rant. It's your boy S, and we'll be back with another Esz Reacts.
Please like, share, subscribe.